Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a journey into the unknown. The energy that surrounds us presents Riding Through the Unknown with your host, Michael Kopf.
And welcome to another exciting episode of Riding Through the Unknown. I'm your host, Michael, and I am joined today by a very special guest. Not that all my guests haven't been special, but I have been excited for this episode because we have talked behind the scenes about a lot of the stuff in the space program and everything else going on in the world. So without further ado, I give you Christy Campbell.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Finally glad that this day came. It's been like in the planning for a couple months. So
It has been. And for all the people who aren't aware of your background and everything with the Secret Space program and everything, could you give the guests that are listening a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I had found out through doing like my Karuna Reiki classes in like 2011 is when I kind of started waking up, like had my awakening. But it went slowly, it wasn't like a sudden awakening to and then end up in a hospital kind of thing. So and I started slowly exploring the things that were kind of like in my mind of things I didn't really, I don't know, it's like questioning things, you know what I mean? Like things that I was interested in now, and then I wasn't, I don't know, I just started questioning reality, I guess. And so I found James Rink's Super Soldier Talk, his channel, and started kind of researching all the super soldier stuff, and kind of really resonated with that and the topics and the secret space program and super soldiers and my labs, and just wondered why I was interested in this, what, this is a dark, kind of dark, like it feels heavy, and I don't know. And so I just kept on, though. It's like a hunger or something inside of me that wanted to understand why I was interested in this all of a sudden, and so I took time to research and just kind of went down the rabbit hole with things too. It um, seems like it just got darker, really. All the stuff that you find. It just was like the George Bush Senior stuff. The Kathy O'Brien, all that kind of the ritual stuff, just all that. So it kind of shocked my mind too. I don't know. I think my mind was blown away hearing about George Bush Senior. That in the Kathy O'Brien interview, that interview really it just. I think it just blew my mind hearing her, because I think I didn't believe it or something like that. It took me about a week or so to process that information, and so I just wonder why felt kind of connected to him, but I didn't find out anything about him until a lot later. And so I found Ivan Teller, his channeling. And so I just started going to his channelings and asking questions of why I was thinking these things, or what was my involvement in the super soldier. And so that really helped me to answer a lot of the questions that I had for myself. Since like 2015, I've been doing like his weekly webinars and stuff, so I found out a lot of information. Each week you get to ask like 2 questions and stuff. So I've asked a lot of questions about. That's how I found a lot of my information. And so, he'll give information, and then so I just explore it in my mind. I question it and explore it for myself and see if I can find the answers, or if I resonate, or however.
Right.
So that kind of led me to my understanding of the secret space program and the super soldiers and the MyLabs and alien stuff and abductions. And, I've asked all these questions, so,
Real
yeah.
quick, I want to bring up something because we haven't discussed MyLabs on this show yet.
Mhm.
So could you give a little bit of background of what you mean when you say MyLabs and what that was?
A MyLab is going to be a military abduction. So they're going to be like a black ops kind of thing, where they come in the night, and usually they'll take you, they'll drug you, like spray something so you pass out or so, and then they take you usually either on a helicopter back to a base, or they it's like sometimes they portal you to the base. So it's kind of different for different scenarios. They can take you out to a base, though they take you, and then they usually do like implants, or they take your genetics. They also would clone you, so they would take your genetics and then clone your genetics to make more clones of you, so they can send them out to various jobs, out in space or underground, or wherever they're sending you. And then they can make like ultra soldiers, and ultra soldiers like a half cybernetic and half human soldier. So that's MyLab would be that, a military abduction. And then you would have like it's kind of like an alien abduction too, because they kind of can return you in a way like up in the yard, or they don't always return you in the bed. So, and then you kind of see things too, like some people have seen like spiders crawling on the ceiling, or so it's just kind of like you kind of like question, like what in the hell is just happened? What is going on? And like you have maybe missing time. So it's kind of, or you hear helicopters outside, or you see them, or they're following you. So it's kind of like that, like kind of harassment in a way too. So
Okay.
Mhm.
So, do you want to jump to the pictures now, or do you want to give a little bit more background of anything
Yeah, let's
first?
go to the pictures. The pictures are
Okay.
good. Hmm.
So, if you guys will bear with me, I am going to pull those up right now. Here we are. And so that is the first picture.
Okay. So the house there, that's like the psycho house that people have seen in the movie, or the Bates Hotel, motel movie or series. Um, but this is kind of the house that I'm seeing in my mind of what the Mothers of Darkness house looks like. This would be a house that I had stayed at in the SSP. It's more on down when I was around 11 years old, and one of the 20 and backs, because I've had 420 and backs. A 20 and back is when you're taken, like when you're, say, it can be any time really. It could be like right now, and you're taken and then put back, and they just kind of set the time back before what happens, so you don't really even know you were gone. So, but I've had 420 and backs that I know of anyway, and so this is one of them with the Mother of Darkness, the SSP. So this is when I was like around 11 to 14 years old at this place, and it's me and two other girls. Two other girls were already there, and then a lady of the house. She's like the she just cares over, or is responsible really for the girls. Not that she's like kind of like Cinderella and the stepsisters in a way too. You know how that is with the wicked stepmother and sisters in a way, because that's kind of what I experienced. It's not me in this reality. It's me taken out of this reality and put into a clone body, and then that clone body does the 20 and back. Like that way. So or it could be, or to my understanding, it could be where they take my body and clone me, or they just take my body and age regress me. So I'm not 100% sure on that, if that happened, because they can age regress you all the way to for the 20 years, and then age regress you back too. So something like that. Either one of those happen. Either it's a clone or it's age regressed. But and then the memories are, I've asked channelers questions about all of this. This is how I've found the memories, and done my own research and my own intuition and stuff, and asking questions. So, and looking at pictures and stuff. So I just do all kinds of things to work for my, to try to figure out the things, like kind of like a detective would do, trying to solve the case in a way. But yeah, this house, and so they would do like the rituals here. They would have like they would have they have several of these houses. It's like a network of the elite, I guess you would say. And this is going to be more of the reptilian class, like shapeshifters. So they need the blood in order to withstand their human form. So they have these rituals at these houses, and they would all gather. All the girls would dress up, really pretty, and then um and then there would be like the girls would be. This is viewer discretion too, just by the way, because it's pretty graphic. I don't know if that's okay to go into the detail, but so the girls, I see it from I'm an observer now. I'm not like experiencing it anymore, so I can describe everything and not feel it, the trauma. But so I was laying like on the table with all the rest of the girls and dressed up, and then we lay down, and then so all these people there at the party, they're all excited, because they're going to be impregnating all of the girls, and they get really excited and shapeshift. And then some of the girls start screaming, and then so some of the girls end up like in pieces on the floor, because they weren't taught to not scream, so in this memory, me and Angie were I remember seeing Angie at this place, and so we remember each other there, and so and then there was just the bodies, like after the ritual thing was over, because it was a full like satanic ritual ceremony, and then the girls are impregnated, and then they drink blood from whatever sacrifice they have, and then so it's kind of like one of those parties. And then after the party, then all the people leave, and then we're taken down to the basement area and just kept in the basement till they come and get us, and our clothes are all messed up and ripped up, and makeup and everything is all messed up, and some of the girls are like in the fetal position. But me and Angie, we were pretty used to it, like going to these, and we knew to be quiet and not to talk, and just to keep to ourselves. So we didn't end up as beaten up and all that. I mean, we was pretty beaten up, but not like some of the other girls, not traumatized. We're kind of used to it. So so that's this house here, and that stayed from 11 to 14. So
I'm kind of curious because I've heard that, like you were saying, the bodies were destroyed, that they can also get like another clone and do it, again. Did you ever witness that happening, or was that not at this house?
Oh no, this is not this house. Nothing. It's just more like I'm a girl. I live there, and these parties happen, and then the impregnation, and then also there's a ceremony also for when you give birth too, and they have that whole ritual of all the girls there giving the birth, and then it's like 3 months or 2 months or something like that, and we kind of don't ever really keep track of it, because I think it's like 2 months or something, and then we're all then they abort the baby, and then they eat the babies, all of the babies, so yeah. But I don't remember like they just rip up those the pieces of the girls, and they're just leftover pieces. They're not the whole body anymore, so there's like not the whole body anymore, Yeah.
I can't even imagine going through that.
Yeah. I've learned to just observe, so I can talk about it, and then I'm not affected by it, so.
Well, I'm glad you've gotten to that space.
Yeah. Good.
So, why isn't it advancing? There we go.
Yeah, and these, I think you could probably scroll through some of them pretty quickly with the parties and stuff at the Mothers of Darkness. This is also like they also have like the dark castles and like rituals at the dark castles and stuff too. So this is going to be one of those too. So they kind of are the same energy as well,
Right. I'm not sure what order these all are in. It was how they were uploaded.
If you see like any more of those with the girls on there, like because these drawings are something else. It's like this is like a whole different experience. I'll just talk about them as you go through them then. So we'll,
Okay.
you can do that. So this is going to be, this is like a martial arts training center, and that's in space. It's going to be like, I think it's on an asteroid, but they have them. They have quite a few of them though in space. It's like a colony or something. But it's like a martial arts training center that all the my labs, and they are going to this place, and it's like a dojo, and you have to like sign up to go there, like your handler, or your trainer, not handler, your trainer that's gonna be with you signs up, and then like you have to do a certain amount of time or hours to, for some reason, some program, I'm not sure the program, but it's, you have to do this training though, because it's like, for your agility, for your speed. It might be like for Kruger runners, for different programs, I think. So there's many programs that are going through there, and some of them like holographic, where it's like a holographic reality that you're going through. It's like a training though. It's like, I remember being here at this place, and I lived here for, I know, a while. I lived there, and it's like where you walk in, and then it's like a desk, and then it's like a mall, like how the mall center, and then look up, and you see all the stores and stuff. So the stores would be like the rooms, like the people have like a dorm. They live there, and it's like for one person, and I don't remember like seeing like couples, nothing like that, or married people. I don't remember seeing nothing like that. Yeah. Oh, you remember being there too. So that's good.
It's good. For me, it's like when I would watch the Matrix movies, when they did the dojo scenes where they were training, it's like my mind was like, I had a familiarity with it, and like you were saying, being holographic, that if we imaged a column, the next day we came back in, you'd never know that column was damaged. It was like rebuilt instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. They would, so you would live there like in the dorms, and you could be a trainer, and you could be a teacher, and if you wanted to live there and stay there and then become a teacher, you could do that too. But at the time though, I was with my trainer, Carol, and she was training me how to do all kinds of different hand-to-hand fighting, hand-to-hand combat fighting, and in the dojo area, and then like taking on multiple people. And I would always like hold back, and not, because I thought, oh, I don't want to hurt someone, but she got mad at me because I kept on holding back, and then she had enough, I guess, because I was getting beat or something, I don't know. And she was like don't hold back. And so then I did, and after that I started waking up and giving it my all, after that. So because we're graded, and not like a grade, like, but it's like our score is recorded, and we're all like competing for the top score, because we're going to be like fighting each other for that position in the end, of that, or however they have it, whenever it is, and so then she also took me out in like the field training or something. It's like in a helicopter, and at first it was like in an airplane, and then I jumped out of the airplane without any suit, anything on, no landing gear or anything like that. I just land on my feet, and then I have to take off running right away, because there's people or a person or things. There's always something different that's chasing after you, so you run really fast. And then I would would run up the steep, like a cliff, and up that, like just like crawl up it, and then I saw James Casbolt there in that experience. He shapeshifted into a bear and was trying to swipe at my leg, and I think a few times he probably did get me, a few times, but I just kept on, you just have to restart over. You just have to do it again. And so
And I was gonna say, and I remember too, like you're saying, you probably did get swiped, but the faster we could heal, the faster we could do stuff. And like you're saying, jumping out of the plane, landing, you would think you'd break an ankle or something, but
yeah,
we were taught our bodies how to heal it really fast.
Yeah, and we had a suit on too that was like had technology with the suit and stuff, so we could run fast and land and jump and be invisible and shape shift too. So with that suit, I think that allowed us to be able to land and not get hurt as well. Maybe some AI or something in the suit, some AI technology in the suit, and then and so once I got to the top of the cliff, then I took off running again, and then little bitty like monster things or however were chasing after me, and then I heard Carol in my mind just say, don't look back behind you because you'll slow down, so just keep running faster. And so she like comes up over the mountain cliff, and in a helicopter now, and so she's like, hurry up, and then so I just jump off and then land on grab the bottom of the helicopter and climb up, and then she says again, and so we do it again and again and again, over and over and over, and until she's like satisfied with the score. And so that happens there too, and
right.
then
And speed was of the essence too.
yeah. Yeah, you had to be really fast and kept on training, and that's just how. And I always had like a top place, for the speed, for that part of the thing. And then she was training me for the combat, like martial arts, hand-to-hand combat, and mixed martial arts and stuff like that, and multiple people attacking me or with sticks, or like the Shaolin monk kind of thing too, so there's all kinds of training that you do. It's like training nonstop, and then you go to your room just to sleep, and there's a cafeteria there that you go down to. It's like kind of like a shopping mall, really, is how I see it, because it's kind of like you got to go out in a main area for the food court, and there's also like living area, and they also have like a gladiator thing too, to where it's like the champions, they spar against each other, like you're competing for the position at this place. So it's like it's like a big recognition if you win, then you fight for the top, and then you get recognized at these places. So it's a lot of fun, for us. Yeah.
No, and I also remember like you're saying, not only that, but like if we were like mouthing off or like being disrespectful to the training, they would I remember going into, like you're saying, the Coliseum and I might have done it, and I remember seeing somebody else, and it's like the person just wiped the floor with them, and it's like, you learned not to do that again. And
yeah,
it was like,
for sure.
yeah, that was a quick lesson learned of going, yeah, we're not gonna do that again. We're gonna stay in order.
Maybe that's like at the beginning, when you're new there and you don't know kind of what to do or what to expect and what's gonna happen to you, or your trainer, so like later on though, you kind of settle down and you follow the rules and do you try to win, because that's what you want. You want to win. It's like a big thing to win the top place. And I think that you'll end up fighting the team, like the a man or woman, you do, it doesn't matter, it's the top position, top scores. Yeah. So
yeah. Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, and you can go through those pretty fast. Those are just people at
Looks like a food line.
Yeah, that's at the rituals and stuff, Yeah. And then that's kind of like my clone. That's at the Mothers of Darkness house. And we all had to wear that kind of shawl thing. Like we all had to dress the same on the ritual night and wear those shawls and fur shawls and be like real elegant looking too, and then at the end of the night it's completely ripped up and all that too. So yeah. And I found that George Bush Sr. I was taken into the SSP at age 6, and then so he was one of my programmers for the for the Psionic, and also for programming for the honeypot assassin. And I was young then, so they usually send the young kids to do the honeypot assassin, which is like going and we're taken to, I was taken to like different houses, different parties, and then I was sent to have sex with whoever it was, and then I was instructed to give them an aneurysm, and they didn't know I did that or nothing. It just happens, so it's not like I sit and look at them. I can do it and nobody would know I did it. And then I just walk out and they're on the ground, dead. And but not every time. I was just whatever I was instructed to do, then that's what I would do, and then come back. But George Bush Sr., he kept me like it's like a mental psych ward place that was like abandoned, and I was like in a kind of like a cell or the room, but all the stuff was like peeling off, the paint and stuff off the walls, and it was like really kind of just abandoned looking, but my bed and dresser and all that was in there. And then he assigned a nurse that was under mind control too, but he was doing the Monarch Programming and mind fracturing, splitting my mind through trauma, through doing sex trauma, and then but he would always be like really sweet to me, like, so I would always like do a good job for him. Like that's kind of what he thought, but that's what he made me think all the time, that I have to do a good job and not like disappoint him, and be on good behavior, and all that. And so I always did, what I was told. And then so he would come in and read to me, and there was like programmed books, that he would read, sit on my bed with me. And I have some pictures in there too of that. If you wanted, I don't know, it might mess up the picture there, but I'd also found, like, when I seen this picture here, I thought that seems familiar. Like I don't know if that's like I was his daughter in this life, if that was me, but I still question that, but multiple people said that I was his daughter, and then I was ritualistic, it was like a ritualistic sacrifice, for his position with the CIA, so I don't know I can't prove that, you know, and I'm not even related to any of his family, you know, so I don't. But I asked the channeler, Jim Charles, about it, and he said that he was surprised. He could channel George Bush Sr., and he was surprised that I found out. He didn't expect me to find that information in this lifetime, because he said that he had placed me in this lifetime where I am to be kind of hidden, you know, so no one would find me, or to keep me safe or something like that. And that he didn't really speak a whole lot, I don't think, and he didn't really want to give a whole lot away, you know, but yeah. So, and then this is when this is more like at the psych ward when I was younger, like around 6 years old to all throughout that 20 and back, he would appear in some of the places that I go to just to check on me, probably giving me messages, you know, and stuff too, and making sure I'm doing and performing, you know, so because he got money for my performances and everything that I did in that 20 and back, you know. So he would come in and check, and he had several, you know, kids stuff, so he would always just check on all of them, and I guess, and but he did do the programming, like as far as like the cattle prodding and stuff in the bedroom where at the psych ward place, when I was, you know, younger, 6, 7, like 8 years old, and then they would send me to like another house to live, because I think someone else was coming to stay there at that abandoned psych ward. But you only stayed there just a little bit of time, you know. He did it just enough time to program you, and you also went to like an interrogation room, and you also, like, I remember seeing Aleister Crowley there too, and he was doing like the programming for just shapeshift into just to see if I could shapeshift into like a werewolf or a feline, you know, or a reptilian, and I couldn't hold the reptilian form as long as I could. The werewolf was my strongest one, the form, and I think they used that for like I think later on they used it for like battles and be sent to like wars or something, or to different places for battles.
Right.
Yeah.
And not to sidetrack, but I was just thinking about how, like, Hollywood, they talk about discloses everything they're doing through movies and everything. And as we're talking about this, it's like my mind flashed to the Mortal Kombat movies, to where, you know, they're competing for the planet. But what caught my interest was, as you're talking about shifting to like the werewolf or other forms, the second, I think it was the second movie, the hero at the end had to shapeshift into a dragon to compete. And they called it his animality. And so it's like, as I'm hearing you share that story, and I always felt like I had that ability too, to shift into like an animal, that it's like, yeah, here's Hollywood showing that that's how this happens.
Yeah, probably like a lion, or a reptilian for you, a lion, and maybe like Anunnaki or Sumerian or something like that. Don't you think? Some of those, like something with that.
Most
Whatever those would
likely,
be.
because, I mean, and I think about it like, you know, the vampire, werewolf, all these stories, you know, somebody had to have seen something to start the story.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think, because we can traverse time through the program, going, did we inadvertently start all these legends about werewolves, vampires, and stuff, but doing what we were doing in the program to alter the timeline so now people are afraid of.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'm not sure what's coming up next.
Yeah. So that's like the Dark Castle. Like at the Dark Castle, there's like it's like kind of vampire setting. It's a ritual. And it's where the girls are kind of older. They're maybe like, I think like 14, 16, something like that. They kind of look, we all kind of look the same age, same size, and same height. We kind of all look the same, and same kind of dress, just different colors of dresses. And we're all lining up and at the ritual, and then the men kind of walk around us slowly and just place their bids on us, and whoever wins that, the highest bidder wins the girl for the night, and you can take her back to your place or wherever. I don't know where really. It's multiple times that I've been in those, so yeah, it's more vampire like, so this is gonna be this is in several places really, with the waterboarding and the electroshock, and all the torture stuff. So this is just like a basement that has all the torture stuff in it.
Wow. It's like, looking at that, it's like how we could like even want to go near water or electricity after all of this.
Oh yeah. And those are the girls that were at the Mothers of Darkness, my roommates, those that like they looked kind of like that. They were a little bit older. They were like, I was like 11, and they seemed to be like 13 or something. So those girls kind of look a little bit older, but they stuck together like that, against me all the time. And him checking on me all the time, making sure that I'm doing. He doesn't really talk to me that much. He just checks on whoever is like the lady who runs the house. He'll talk to her, or whoever is in charge. He'll just stop by, but he'll just wave or whatever. So. And he usually like gives something too, like something that will instill like that his presence to do a good job, like that too, so it could be a trinket or something small, that would be meaningful to me, because he made it to where we would have like a bond, and like almost like a father-daughter bond, so I would be happy to see him, but he wouldn't come over, and he would sometimes come over and say hi, but not all the time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they had their favorites.
Yeah, he just was stopping by to check on things, making sure, because he got awarded, for my behavior, and he got money for my behavior too, and how many pregnancies I could have in that time at the Mothers of Darkness house, so if I wasn't producing babies, then they would kick me out of that house, and put me somewhere else, I don't know where, but yeah, you had to produce. Yeah.
I can't help but, after hearing that part, go, how do you in this life have a family and feel comfortable with the family and feel, accepted in the family. You know, well, you kind of know what I mean.
Yeah, you just separate it. I don't know. You just healed from it, you know? You recognize that it's another reality and that did happen to you, you know, you can't really prove it, you know, like cuz it's not like this reality where you can see physically. It's like in your mind or something that it existed, but you know it did because there's multiple people who can you know, like collaborate or um get with you on the story, and like Angie, she can finish the story. Like I can tell her something and then she can see it and then add to it, you know? So that's just, you know, then you're just like, this is like mind blowing, you know? But you kind of have to be healed a lot before you're able to even see and kind of accept that it did happen and be okay. Like I can look at this, you know, I can look at the dark stuff and not be affected. Some stuff, you know, might I'll feel like anxiety, you know, but I don't get like triggered. I I I haven't felt triggered. Like people could tell me some dark stuff and it just it's like nothing surprises me, maybe, you know, because I've seen and I've researched and watched so much stuff, information, and, you know, like a detective, like I think, you know, and I've seen the horror of everything. And so, like a detective, they kind of disassociate their minds from that trauma so they don't have to experience it and feel it, you know, that all of it. So, because you don't want to feel everything like that, you know. So,
Right.
yeah, and that's just the one of the dark castles, like the outside. That's just an example, you know.
Yeah, I can't help looking at this picture and thinking, is that right there a ship?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, could be. He's just checking his numbers. Okay, so this is a different experience, and this one was the most like um to process and deal with because it wasn't um because when this one was more like a pocket reality, and it was like taken um it was like in the 40s or something, like the time frame. And the man was this he looked like him. It was his energy signature, you know. It wasn't like Mike Rogers. He was Mike Rogers the admiral, but it was this other aspect, you know, in that reality. And so so I was sent, I guess I was like a spy espionage agent, and I was sent to find information on him because he was, I guess there was a salesman that came to meet with him and that had like some kind of a suitcase and like a button, a detonation or something like that, you know? So he had something going on that was kind of shady, or information that my boss, and it seemed like I work for like the mob or something. That's what my boss looked like, was like a mobster. Um, so this wasn't the secret space program or nothing like that. This is just all like a pocket reality place. But I was under programming, you know, as like a sex slave, because I was posing as like a masseuse, a massage person, and so I was like right across the the hallway, like on his ship, like the battleship, you know. He had his own like whole like suite area, and I was like right across the hallway, and my massage room and stuff, and he kept on watching me and trying to figure out who I was, why I was there. He found out everything, on me, and he wasn't getting a massage or nothing like that, so and I would go around and ask the other people, the men, if they want a massage, so just to blend in. And then he invited me in his room, and then so I was still under like mind control, the programming and stuff. So I was like I could withstand like pain and all that because I was programmed to withstand it, through like the sex kitten programming and sex trauma stuff. I could withstand a lot, and so if he would have done something, then it wouldn't have really hurt as much because I had that different altar, present and stuff. And so he knew how to. He was a programmer, and he knew how to take the programming out. So he took it out, and I could feel everything that he was doing. Like I remember and felt everything that he did, the and seen and everything, so that's why it was the most horrific kind of experience to recall, and I just was like, I mean, he would, I still get anxiety thinking of it because it's so traumatic. Because, and I have like forgiven him and myself, and, like I have done that. So, but it's still, I'm still like, I don't know. I just feel the stuff because like, he would put me like on the wall, like, chain me up on the wall and just leave me there, like facing the wall all day while he was gone. He would like leave me up there, and I was like naked, and he would ram a baseball bat up inside me, both ways, and beat me. Like he would punch me after he took, like he had me come in his room and sit me down, and then he said, he was just kind of like talking small talk, and then I was kind of nervous, and then he said, "I know what you are," and then I was like kind of shocked a minute that he kept on with that, like after he saw my eyes, like he was telepathic or something, or psychic, or I don't know, but he knew that that he was right about me, and by my expression, and my behavior and stuff after that. And then he like punched me and threw me, and then he kept me like in a cage in his room. The whole rest of the time I was there for the program and stuff, he kept me in the cage, and then just let me out, when he was in his room and stuff. But he also made me take a bath with him, and doing sex stuff, and would hold my head underwater just about until I would drown, and then he'd bring me back, and then he started then he would make a new altar through that. And because he said, "Now you're my sex slave for the rest of the trip," and so I was, and then I just stayed in the room and never left the room. And so that, and then at the end, like I guess he found out who I worked for, and he had them meet me like out on the I guess they pulled into like the pier or whatever like that. We got off, and then he like like held me up or whatever, to my bosses, and then like kissed me, and then like pushed me down, and then I just took off running to them. And then I just remembered that when I got in the car, then they shot me in the head, and then that was the end of that that reality, so it was really traumatic. But I did forgive him, in my mind. I've forgiven him and stuff, and because I did find that we've had like another lifetime, a past life together, and had a nice time. So I think it was like a balance and karma or something like that we had to experience, so yeah.
Right, and I kind of feel like too maybe that the past life is why he recognized you and
Yeah.
maybe tried to break free. Maybe because of that. I don't know, but yeah, it is interesting to think. How could he have known?
Well, he's really intuitive and stuff, and because he's like I don't know, he did because he's had trauma too, but I think he was like a programmer and researcher. Like he knew it all. He was very intelligent and stuff, with things. So he knew how to read people and stuff. So I was new there all of a sudden, and so he wondered why I was there, what I was doing right there and across. Why they put me right there, I don't know. I have no idea. That was like a red flag right away, really,
Yeah, it's almost like they were like, okay, we're done with her.
Yeah.
We'll make this the end mission.
Then, that's the martial arts training center place still, so you can skip through there. And so this is going to be, this is another reality. This is going to be like the, this is another probably 20 and back, not the George Bush one. Another, I don't know the name of them though, like I don't know which one, because it could be just a pocket reality too, where I would be like sent, because it's not for a long time at these places, at the brothel places, and the Moulin Rouge kind of place, brothels, strip clubs, all these places. They put me in all these, like the sex kitten, all these places. They always put me in those kinds of experiences. So it must be the SSP, like that. But so like these places here, then this is more like the Moulin Rouge kind of upper class brothel, where the military men would come and sit and drink, and the girls kind of like it's kind of like the 30s or 40s kind of feeling, like that, where everybody's kind of dressed that way, I guess. So I don't know if it's a space colony. I don't know all of that. I just remember I was just in there. I didn't leave, so I don't know what's outside and where we're at or anything, and because there's multiple places that I've seen like that. So, but yeah, so I worked there and lived there, and then I worked in like a area where they would come in and sit, and you'd sit and visit with the men, and then you take them to your room and have sex with them, and then they leave, and they don't pay us anything, I don't know who they pay, or however that works, but they just come in and that happens, and then they leave, and then we just do that the whole time that place is that we're there. It's like all the time. Yeah. And just that's where kind of I stay in that area, and there's singers in there too, like in the main area there's singers, and like the sultry singer, like the Roger Rabbit's Veronica Lake, and like her,
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, Jessica Rabbit, yeah. Her, like somebody like her, but then there's just entertainment, like stages and stuff too. And they just watch the entertainment, and it's just a big entertainment thing. So it must be like a space colony or something, Yeah.
It could be. It kind of has that feeling.
So that's like kind of like the super soldier, where they're enhancing the person and they're watching like a science project kind of thing too, like the Captain America, how they had that, you know, kind of like
Right.
that. Hmm.
And I can say the room seems very familiar. How it's very sparse but multi-leveled, and you're in the center of it. So I'm just looking at. We are at 3:00. Do you have time to go on to more, or do you need to cut it?
Yeah, you want to do like 30 minutes, 30 more minutes? You want
Sure.
to? Yeah, okay. Oh, so this is the nurse at the psych ward place. She would just sit, you know, and my room was like where she could see me like this way, you know, where she could see me in my room and watch me, and she would bathe me, feed me, like bring me my food, you know, make sure I'm eating and bathed and everything taken care of, you know. So she was kind of like that. And that's like the bathtub, the dressing area, the sink, and all of that area.
I'm noticing the coloring. Is that a significance to having the blue and the gray and the blue?
I don't know. Is that tile? It might be a tile, you know. I think that's tile floor. Yeah, like at the psych ward, you know, like the old psych ward, you know, like that. So this is gonna be, yeah, this is gonna be me there, and then that's one of the men that I was sent to after at George Bush. That's him in the back picking me up because my time is up with there. But I wouldn't say 8 years old. 8 years old on there. Then I'm taken. I just live in that mansion with like in my own room too, and it's really nice, the setup and stuff. And they just send me out on honeypot assassins. That's all I do. It's like the honeypots assassin, and yeah, and he's picking me up there. So it's like 6 to 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so I think he's dropping me off. I can't read it, what it says. The writing is small, but he's either dropping me off. He dropped me off and he picks me up, you know.
Yeah, it says waiting
After,
on me.
yeah. So after there, then then I go to like a military school kind of where like it's like a training, just like just like a military, like you are doing the exercises all the time outside. So it's kind of some exercise, I guess.
The drills.
Yeah. So this is like one of the guys at like the dark castle or the brothels or just places that, and throughout my experiences, you know, kind of what they look like. And that's at the brothel. This is going to be like rooms that you can go in if you want to make it bigger. I don't know if you can make it bigger, because some of the rooms are there's some of the rooms that are more fancy for the higher paying customers. So and they can do whatever they want to the girls, you know. They don't have any kind of consequences either, you know. So and they just take, as you know, the girls to the room, and then they do whatever, and then they just leave, you know, from there. This is going to be at one of the strip club places, but yeah, this is like a space colony at the strip club place.
You know, what's interesting to me is I see the light, and then it looks like this candelabra just floating in midair, and I'm like, I can't help but look at that and go, that just doesn't look like that's where that belongs.
Oh yeah.
It's like, wait, the placement of that just doesn't seem right. And it almost even looks like it's a door, maybe like a, one of those big doors, like a vault door where you would turn the arms.
Yeah. It's just a hallway, though. That's like in the room at the psych ward. It's just showing like the peeling paint, the condition of the room, and the bed is kind of like a single mattress kind of thing, a twin bed. So, they have a little pink comforter and all that. So yeah. Like low lighting and everything.
Yeah, you say Bush Senior reading to me. I'm not sure. Am I not getting the whole image?
No, it is just that part, so you can see kind of the wall condition. Yeah, that's like on the moon, I believe, or just somewhere in space, like a station.
Yeah, that does look familiar to me. And I would say that yeah, I feel like that is the moon. Whoa, what just happened?
So that would be kind of like George Bush Sr. is to, how on Stranger Things, how he's 11's handler, so it's kind of like
Right.
he's the same as George Bush Sr.
That's just weird how that just jumped all those images.
Hope everybody saw them.
I'll try and hit back at some of them, but I can only go, oh, there is
No,
a
it's okay. Oh, okay. I don't know if it shows it though, does it? No. Is it showing it, or do you got to click on them?
Hold on. I think I went too far back. Yeah, I did. I'm looking at it minimized on my screen.
No, that's like a space station too, like that. So some of them you can scroll through pretty fast, and then that's like a whole area, one of the dark castles, to where they come in, and you would just like go into the bathroom or something, you would see this hallway, and that's like on a, I think this is like on a space station or a ship, someplace or something. It's kind of abandoned in a way too,
Yeah, I don't think we were too worried about keeping it clean.
Yeah, that's also the martial arts training center, the space colony, there.
Yep,
and that's kind of like the same. It's like I was trying to draw it, it's kind of hard to draw because it's like just basically like the mall, how the mall is, how the setup is, where you're in the ground floor and you can look up and see all the shopping, the shops and stuff, it's all open. So that's kind of like that is. And so that's kind of an example of, like how innocent the little kids would come in when they first get into like taken into the programs and stuff, Yeah. And then this is going to be just some examples of like the hybrid programs and stuff, they have, and with the human DNA and ETDNA, creating hybrids and monitoring them, making sure that they're surviving and thriving, or however, or children in space, the hybrids. So it's like the hybrid programs that are everywhere. And she's like the lady of the house at the Mother of Darkness, kind of looks like that for the rituals and stuff, And then this is this circus, like the tent, at the end of the Mothers of Darkness, then I'm escorted by George Bush Sr. and we walk in and there's like this little cove, on cove, whatever it's called, like and a lady sitting there with his envelope, and she hands him his envelope, and it has like a check and then the place that I got for my performance at the Mothers of Darkness with all all my things that I had to do, like the chores, my behavior, how much like you would eat and weigh and look and keep yourself clean, and how you kept your room clean, like everything. He was like scored on everything, and so that's like the score that he has, and so that we're all gathering here at this circus place, because it's going to be, they're only picking the 3 top mothers and then the 3 top girls, out of all of them, out of all the houses in that network that I was in. And then this is going to be just kept in the basement area, before rituals, because they want you to not have any food in your body, nothing like that. And then that's kind of Aleister Crowley, him appearing like that, to me, like an example to me or to other kids, who he's programming to switch alters or switch their shapeshift into, I don't think right then and there he did, but he just probably like came or appeared in places too, to try to let the kid know that he was always kind of watching too, but he also like, he did some magic stuff too. I don't know. I can't find it though in my memory of everything,
Well, there's a lot in there, and so yeah.
Yeah, that's the training center, the martial arts training center, like the, I think that's kind of like the colony. It's kind of hard to see, but the roof, from above,
Right, with the biospheres and
Mm-hmm.
traveling through. And I feel like there was another reason why we were training on space, is because we could move faster, but then when we got to the gravity, it's like our body could adjust better.
Mm.
So it was like we could move differently through gravity because of the training that we had on space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so this is kind of like like an innocent girl kind of looking. This is when I didn't really look exactly like that, but just kind of showing how she would look in a way, present herself, how kind of young too. She was, I think she looked around 17 or something, to target Admiral Rogers, what he would have wanted, someone to look like too, they sent me there on purpose, because I had the look that he desired, to try to get the information from, which I did see him do, and but I didn't know what it was, and I didn't get to really tell. And maybe that was a setup too, because he saw me right there too. So it wasn't really like, it was just kind of like maybe a setup or something, I think.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. And just one of the guys kind of throughout the Dark Castle and the brothels and all the places, kind of what they're dressed up and stuff. And that's just after trauma, after being mind shattered. Yeah. At the Moulin Rouge place, with this space. I think it's a colony in space, because all the military guys go there, and it's just guys, military guys. It's not any girls that I remember. That's like one of the rooms for the where would that be at? That's gonna be like maybe the it's like a tying up kind of sex room,
Yeah.
It could be anywhere really, in any of the castles, or it could be anywhere.
Definitely,
But they,
it definitely though has a castle-esque feel with all the stonework.
yeah. Yeah, that's a Moulin Rouge brothel place. Yeah. I said the Mothers of Darkness, just an image of kind of how you have to be in a different altar, like and there's girls that come in and perform, and this is at different places though too, and then they're more seductive like that too, so that might be some kind of training as well, for the girls, because they kind of have, like, I remember like Lilith Michael Aquino's wife. Then she was a trainer at the Project Ibis. She would take all of us girls in a room and show us how to pleasure men. So this is kind of like that, and that just shows kind of like at a ritual. I think this is kind of like the Ibis thing here. How she's that small, that age, and then they're kind of wearing a mask, like they sometimes have an owl mask on, or the pointed, like the pointed mask, is that some kind of what is that sickness that they had,
The plague mask.
yeah. Yeah. They just wear different stuff, and then that's at the seductress, singing. And that's at like the brothel, just in a room with one of the girls, there. Yeah. Some of them are going to be like ET abduction stuff too. So I know that this was on the X-Files. Remember this part of did you watch the X-Files?
I did.
Yeah. Where he's being abducted. Dwayne, whatever, forgot his name. Do you remember his name? The man's name? Dwayne Barry, isn't it? Wasn't it? Dwayne Barry?
I think
so. Yeah, that's just him. That's just showing an alien abduction, Yeah. How they're coming in the room.
Right.
Yeah. That's the Martial Arts Training Center. Just notes. That's the brothel place where they come and sit and have drinks and entertain and all that, and then take him back to my room. There's lots of bedrooms, and all the girls take men all the time in their bedroom, and I think it's like, however, I don't know, however long, not very long of time, like maybe an hour or something like that,
Yeah. This looks like a colony.
It's like a vampire, like at the ritual or something. Like, does it say on there who it is? Like, because it's like
all I can see is it says vampire at the rituals Bush does not like.
Oh, okay. Just Pretty easy to see. I think it's a man at one of the rituals there.
Steve aspect that ritual shapeshifts
Oh, okay.
to a werewolf.
Mm-hmm. Super soldier.
It's kind of interesting seeing with the gear because I don't remember there being that much gear.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the suit, and that was pretty much all we
Mm-hmm.
were given.
And then the ritual stuff, tied the torturer. Kind of just what they, like, he's kind of like one of the, like I was thinking, how if someone was, like if he had visited a girl like every week or something like that, and then she's all of a sudden gone because maybe her 20 and back is up, then he would be like looking for her, So I was thinking that.
Right. And I wonder that too is what
Mhm.
does their 20s and back, how it affects other people.
Yeah. And that's like Bush Senior, he's like a lichen.
Yeah, something about the eyes.
And that's okay, so this is like at the circus. At the circus at the end of the Mothers of Darkness, then there's the three mothers that are picked and three of the girls, so like that's like the three. And the rest of them, they have to be put on like, the spinning wheels, they're put up on there, and then they're spun for everybody to watch, and then the clown that's there throws knives until they're dead. Yeah.
That took a dark turn.
Mm-hmm. And just being locked up. This seems like it's in space. I don't know. It felt familiar, so I don't know.
It does feel familiar, and it's like I can't figure out though if it's outside of a ship, like the bellows of a ship, or
Mm-hmm.
if it's a colony.
Yeah, I don't know. It did feel familiar because it kind of reminded me of a crop circle as well.
Yeah, it's definitely something familiar.
And so this is just like interrogation, like until the person breaks. So they have like usually like the table and chair, but then this is just like the chair, and I guess they're just like holding them, in there.
Yeah, like the psychological wear you down before they start the real stuff.
Yeah. And 6 kitten programming, just being seductive. And that's at like the dark castle or something like that, like maybe she's drugged or something.
I was gonna say I got the feeling like drugged when I looked at it.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the guys. I'm not sure they would have a phone like that, but they kind of look like this too on some of the places.
They probably would.
Mm-hmm.
Not a phone.
Oh, okay.
We would think phone, but if you're thinking about it, like trophy things, say like, yeah, I was here. Like, well, you know what I got.
I think they would have to leave it though. They couldn't bring it back. That's kind of like at the dojo place, how you can see kind of looking up, or at there's also like the ships and stuff too that are like that, to where you would be down there and you could look up, like motherships, you know.
Right. Yeah, and your position depended on which floor you were on.
Mm-hmm. That's taking a guy in my room at the brothel place. Yeah. Just entertaining and what they kind of look like, you know, the mobster kind of men.
Yeah, there's
just
that
one of them.
floating candelabra again.
Like on the Disney, like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it really is floating because there's
Mhm.
nothing underneath it unless it's attached to the wall somehow. Which then
Okay.
makes me wonder, because it's off kilter, if it's like a switch that opens a secret area
Mm-hmm.
panel.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of those there too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like at the like the Dark Castle places and stuff, you know, parties. And then that's he just felt familiar. I think it's probably like on Mars, probably a lot of places I've seen those type of reptilians in battles and stuff in the war times, you know.
Yeah, I think I've crossed paths with a few of those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would
And
freak the hell out of me seeing that.
yeah, that's like on I think the Mars and the Orion Wars, you know, any kind of war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always hated going into caves like that, but
Mm-hmm.
it had to be done. And yeah.
So he's like the like he's I think it's like vampire at one of the where the girls would line up, you know, like one of the what they kind of look like there.
There's the spinning wheel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at the end of that ritual, then I mean at the end of the circus thing, then I was one of the 3 girls that won, and I remember Angie was one of them too. And I don't know the other girl, and then 3 of the mothers, but not the mother that was at my house. Not her. She got on the wheel, you know. Because I think her behavior or something against me, you know, when I was there, because she didn't, she just sided with the 2 girls all the time, and they were always doing stuff to get me in trouble, you know, like ripping my clothes, so I get in trouble, or messing up my food so I couldn't eat and weigh the right amount. So they made sure you had to eat the right food so you could get like pregnant and stuff, you know, like all that. So she didn't make it, but I made it. And I remember George Bush Sr., he came up on the stage and he was like thanking everybody, and opened up the envelope, and I could see like a check. I don't know how much it is for, you know, and then like he got acknowledgement for my performance, you know, so like he got money, I guess, so he could produce more. I don't know exactly what, just more the sex slaves, and send more girls there for their performances, I guess. I don't know exactly all of it, but yeah. And then this is going to be like, so this is going to be another experience, like a pocket reality where there's gorillas, and I was helping somebody that I knew, because he was like being taken to Mars. So on this one, he was in this room, like a I don't know, like a morgue, because it had a window, and I was looking through the window, and then they were ripping him apart, like ripping his legs off and his arms off, and laughing, because I was like, like trying to stop them, and they just were laughing at me, the gorillas, and they came over to the window, kind of looked like this, but they was really tall, and then they put the cyborg part back on his body, and then they wheeled him off, and then they shipped all of those soldiers to in a jump room to Mars for, I guess, 20 years. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the videos. And I have to say, seeing some, hearing the stories is one thing, but when you start to see the pictures and everything, it really starts to paint like, wow, this is really real. And I do have to say, I am grateful for all the pictures that you do share with me, because some of them, like we would talk offline about, and I'd be like, hey, this picture looks familiar, and you're like, yeah, I think that's you, or that's somewhere you've been, and it's like, it's helpful because it's like, yeah, it's those little things that trigger, and
they do. The images really help me to go into the experience more and see everything and remember it, but I'll find my images. I'll just like look on Pinterest, but I'll have something in mind of what I'm searching for first, like whatever then I'll have it in my mind, and I'll search for it and until I find it. It has to match exactly what I'm seeing in my mind, and if I'm trying to find a person's, like your what you match, what your aspects might be, in other realities, then I'll go through there and I can I'm tuned into your frequency, and then I can find what matches your frequency in what I'm seeing in my mind that you have, like I've already like scanned you, and so I kind of see what if what ET races or anything like that, so I'm kind of just like looking for pictures of what I see in my mind that you would look like almost exactly, but that has to match, or I don't get it,
right. And
so all of those match something,
right, and that's something important too that I like that you point out is it matches what you're seeing and feeling, and not just saying, oh, this image is close, so I'll use it to explain. No, it needs to match. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, we could, I could sit there and be like finding like 30 pictures of the planet of Mars and be like, yeah, I was here, I was there, but
yeah,
it's meaningless when it's like a stock photo, whereas you find something and you can go, I was there because I remember this was over here at the time, and it moves over that, and it's like the memory comes in, and it's like that's the key.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've had a lot on Mars with George Bush Sr. at the cloning places and stuff too, and after all the 20 and back toward the end, then we went to Mars for the rest of the time, and to the moon and Mars, but mostly Mars, and I helped them create more clones, and I was programmed to take the people while they're sleeping, their consciousness, like I guess they would be abducted or something. I don't know every detail. I didn't do everything. I just had their consciousness on like the computer. If it was a computer, like that's what I see in my mind. It's like a computer and their consciousness. So then I could have all these people, and then I created like clones of, not of them, just like models of stuff he had or whatever, you know, like he was given 10 clones for at the end of my ceremony thing, you know, for graduating on Earth with the SSP stuff, and then for the rest of the 20 and back, you know, it could have been more than that too. He might have kept me there longer and just, you know, kept changing time, or it might have been however. But I would that consciousness in those clones, and then they would be sent out into the battle, like to fight as warriors, and that was just like training, and also just to see kind of, I don't know what he got out of that. If he got I don't know why, but he would send them out to battle the native Martian, you know, reptilians and mantis and all that. And then he would also have class, and it would be like a holographic glasses that these kids would put on, like they would see themselves there. Maybe it's like a dream state or something, and they had these holographic glasses on, and then the teacher would come and kind of instruct them, and they would go out into the battle, like battle the natives there and get killed, and their body is brought back in, and then they're cloned or something like that too. So there's all kinds of cloning stuff going on that was working with him on Mars. Yeah, for a long time. He doesn't trust a whole lot of people. So, and I found that I've been his sister and family member, and, you know, I've been with him in numerous lifetimes, you know, George Bush Sr. So, there's like an ancestry with him that's not DNA this lifetime, but
like soul, on a soul level.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Flicks Love is saying, "Thank you, Christy. Speechless at the moment, but appreciated."
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say,
Thanks.
Flicks Love, I'm sorry I missed some of your questions that came up. I was on another screen flipping the picture, so I didn't see the chat. So I apologize that we missed your questions. But so thank you, Christy, for coming on.
Yeah.
And
thank you for having me.
And for everyone that's watching, this is my final episode for this year. However, I do have a surprise teaser announcement. And yes, Wasabi, that's like the best way I can say it. They are evil bastards.
Yeah.
But I am going to, before I play the outro, I have a little surprise for everyone, so here it comes. Yep, that's right, folks. We'll be back in January for Season 2. So
cool.
Stay tuned. We will have a few changes coming. One is, instead of doing 2 a month, I'm going to try and do 3 a month. Mm-hmm. So I can help get more information out and have more guests.
Yeah.
And we will actually be premiering on January 10th. It's a Wednesday night. And Priscilla LaPierre will be the first guest of season 2 to set it off.
That's good. Yeah.
So I'm excited to be back, and we'll be continuing the disclosure and continuing everything. And if luck has it, Christy will be back as well.
Yeah, you can just schedule me in if you want to, you know? Just put me on the books of it, so I'll get in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate that. And with that being said, we are, for this being the end of the year, happy holidays to everyone, whichever holidays you celebrate. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. And we will look forward to seeing everyone back in 2024. Wow, can you believe it's already almost 2024?
Yeah.
So, wherever you are in the world, good night, everyone. Make it a great day.